Got a Fafo. Fafo first. The objections that we would, why are you guys doing this?
Yes.
Be okay screwing up. Embrace the cringe. Online dating is dead. Cold approach is dead. The parties aren't dead.
People that are in your life, reach out to them. Karan, welcome.
Thanks, Jonathan.
You ready to go all in?
Yes, I am.
Great. Well, today we're talking about how to create a social life and how to live more socially free. And you're a man that operates socially free. You move around the world. You like to do a lot of different workshops. You're constantly working on yourself through personal development. So what does a socially free life look like, feel like? What does that mean to you?
A socially free life to me is very much like how it's been in Portugal over the last couple months. Been living here on my golden visa, and it just so happened that I had a chance to meet you and some other friends, and we were all in the same city. And we've had a chance to enjoy and create and bootstrap this brand new social life in the city.
So how did you choose Portugal? And when did you decide, we know each other, we're friends, you live in multiple cities, right? So we'll talk about how to create optionality in your life and how do you choose where to live. How did you choose Portugal as a country and Lisbon as a city?
So to start with, I think Portugal is still to this day a very underrated place to live. It's peaceful, it's beautiful. A lot of people know about Portugal and think it's a great place to live in, to holiday in. But 5 years ago, Portugal, or even before that, Portugal had a program where you could legally migrate here by investing or getting passive income. So I went that route when I quit my corporate job in 2021. And I decided that this place has to be one of the places which I call home,
and
potentially.
Did you visit, or were you just looking online? Like, had you been to Portugal before you decided to call it home?
No, actually. I'd been to Spain, but never Portugal. So it was all research and
You just saw it on a brochure online and said, I want to move there? I was like, what? That's pretty risky.
It is. I mean, it's funny how things work out, but it just turns out that right from the beginning of the process, when I got involved, when I started speaking to a lawyer, I could just tell that there's some warmth to this place, to the people, and there's something special about it right from the beginning. And I've been visiting and spending time in Portugal ever since, and every time I come here, I'm more and more in love with the place, discovering new places that I haven't been to before as well.
You love the country. You've decided to spend more time here. Sounds like you discovered it. How did you learn about the Golden Visa process?
At the time, there were a bunch of different countries in the European Union who were offering such a program, and Portugal was one of them. And they had the best terms at the time, I guess. You could make an investment that was relatively safe. And the country as well had a really good geography, and it's got some beautiful beaches, so it was very easy kind of to make the decision. And also one more thing that really helped is like people here really do speak English.
Okay.
Well, I have been working on my Portuguese lately.
You have. This guy is in Portuguese classes 4 days a week and going around Lisbon and the country speaking Portuguese. And people really respond well to you when you do that. They take their time, they're patient, they'll help you fill in words. I don't think a lot of people take that into account when they come here because a lot of people speak English in Lisbon and they can get by. And I've seen firsthand what happens, the reaction that you get when you start speaking Portuguese. You're welcomed. You're like an insider. How is that? Yeah, how's that felt?
Now, as early as 3 years ago, when I was visiting, I would definitely default to English.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see a change in how I'm being welcomed and how people perceive me as someone who actually respects the culture.
Yes.
And it feels extra nice. The warmth is already there, but when you can see a marked difference in it, it really changes your perspective on things. and you realize that people want to be respected.
Yes. Say more about what do you mean they want to be respected? Like they want you to respect their culture.
The culture. They want you to make an attempt, try. You don't have to be perfect, but as long as you try, it's a thought that counts.
Yeah, I've seen you just really, people have really embraced you from restaurants to friends, and it's mainly because you're making an effort to connect with them through their own language, where many people just default to English. And when you choose a place, so we talk about optionality now, you do your research. You know a lot about the Portuguese economy, its strengths, its weaknesses. You know about other cities that you live in. So yeah, first off, where are the other places that you live?
So right now I've got a residency in Dubai, UAE.
Okay.
So that's mainly for networking and business. Not really a place that I, would see myself living in long term, but it does have really good banking, and it's a nice hub to be both connected to Asia and Europe. So that is one of the places that is a part of my plan B. And I do spend time in Asia as well. So Bangkok, Indonesia, and the Philippines. I do spend time there to escape the winters. And I'm looking to add more places actually that I can call home. And I'm also opening to learning new languages if need be, because some places only open up and living there becomes feasible when you.
So where are you looking at? You also India, spent some time in India, correct?
Correct. So India is my home country. I spent most of my life there since 21. And yes, I do visit India a lot. Parents, family.
And then you moved to the States when you were 21?
Correct.
For college?
Correct. I moved at 21, went for grad school, and then had a 9-year-long career as a software developer before AI.
Before AI.
Now AI can do what I do better.
You have the best offer for startups in this ecosystem. Your offer is that you'll work for free or for equity in the company. You don't want to be paid because you've retired. You want optionality, right?
Optionality, and I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't say I'm retired, because my mind's always working on a project, be it trying to mentor like a startup, or trying to offer my what I call it sweat equity. I want to do things out of passion because I enjoy it. And I don't think I'm going to stop doing that.
So what are you enjoying these days?
Well, these days I've been getting really into the vibe coding thing.
Okay.
Using AI to turbocharge and to basically assist in the coding process and help build prototypes for a lot of I see a lot of incubators coming in, and they say, hey, I've got this idea, but I just need someone to kind of build version 1. So I just now I'm trying to be the guy who offers and says, look, I'll help you build that version 1. Just tell me what you want. It's not going to be awesome, but hey,
you got to get started.
That's how you get started.
Okay, so vibe coding. What else? What else are you putting your time and energy into?
So right now, I kind of want to pause.
Okay.
Pause. I'm trying to make time for myself, journaling, because I am a little bit drifting. I see myself drifting in life a little bit, not really knowing what my purpose is. So really spending time with friends and having someone to bounce ideas off of, like someone even like you, Jonathan, has been really helpful in in that process.
Yeah, because you've been traveling alone for the most part, right? So, well, first off, when did you decide, when did optionality become a thing for you? How did you just discover this, what I'll call lifestyle design? Is that a fair term that you subscribe to?
Oh yeah, you know what? I had no idea it was lifestyle design until I just started doing it.
Okay. So when did this come on your radar?
Well, I think what I realized was I'm doing stuff at my day job and I'm not enjoying it as much.
Okay.
So now I want to do things that I enjoy, and maybe part of that involves creating a lot of plan Bs, because I haven't figured things out. So like an artist painting on a palette, have a few places I can call home, can live in. I'll change my fashion up, I'll change, I'll try to learn how to date in different places or different countries. I think all these pieces, including how you socialize, constitute lifestyle design.
Yeah.
And different people have different ways to go about it because you need to have a plan. So, Jonathan, I want to push this back onto you.
Great.
What is your process and your perspective on doing lifestyle design?
Doing lifestyle design. What a beautiful question. I gravitate to what's most fun. So what do I want to experience and what fun do I have? And then what people do I want to do it with? And then my process is I'll start to visualize what it is I want to do. And I start looking everywhere for visuals, movies, pictures, YouTube videos, and get a sense of like what it is that I want to do or to be able to do and see. And from there, then I create my process. That's the best that I can articulate it.
So we recently had this beautiful villa party.
Yes. Before that, I'll give an example. Yeah, because the villa party ties into it. I've always thought about how to live my life differently because I grew up with two very different backgrounds, one Jewish, the other Mexican. And the Jewish side of the family, they were lawyers, they were doctors, professors, stable, not necessarily entrepreneurs. And the majority of them were happy and they lived, normal upper class lives. And then the Mexican side, they were constantly partying, get-togethers, very familial vibes, but not great jobs. A lot of them had kids early on in their lives, like 18 to 22, and I saw what that did. And so as an observant child, it's like, how do I live life differently? And my father worked at the University of Texas. My mom, that's where they met. They both worked there. So I was around all these academics, professors, lawyers, senators. And my dad somehow found his way to serve 5 university presidents. And my childhood was very, very different. I was constantly moving throughout different social circles. And I watched my dad do it so well. And my mom, who's a raging extrovert, to this day, she'll talk to any stranger anytime. I find it really annoying until, you and I started doing some of the social freedom stuff we do. So all of this was imprinted on me. I was always like, I know that I'm different. I don't really fit into any of these, both these families. I was always like, the Mexicans didn't understand the Judaism. The Jews didn't understand the Mexican side. I've always been a little outside looking in. And so I've always wanted to do things differently. And my father brought me around people that thought differently, like presidents of universities. I had a friendship with Barbara Jordan, who was an influential, she's the first African-American woman in the Senate. And I make up that their presence just influenced me. It was deeply imprinted that I could do something different. Now, what that is, I don't know. But I never wanted to live the lives that I saw in both of my families because in reality, they didn't look like they were happy. And so I've always prioritized fun, joy, and happiness, living the life that I want to live. So how this works for me, I remember I was sick. I had also was on a bit of a break, a hiatus. Got done running a company and had the experience of basically starting a startup, growing it, rapid growth, decline. And then I was sitting on my couch about a year so after that experience, and I got really sick. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I knew I was sick. I said, shit, I'm sick. I'm going to turn on YouTube and just watch some YouTube. There's a Rich Paul interview I've been waiting to watch on Tim Ferriss. And Rich Paul is LeBron James's agent. And he gets on for 58 minutes and tells his life story. And I'm like, holy shit. Rich Paul grew up in the ghettos of Cleveland, heavy drug-infested environment. His father owned a grocery store there and taught him everything he knew about business. Taught him how to read people. Basically, everything he learned about the game, he learned in the hood. And I had not similar experience. I didn't grow up in the ghetto, but my first job was selling pot. That was my first business. And my father brought me around the university to show me how he thought the game was played. Always brought me around, my mom as well. And I was always around these cast of characters. A lot of people on the Mexican side of my family had been to jail, had sold drugs. Jewish side, again, different experience. And so when he was done with his interview, I said, I can do that. I can become an agent or a talent manager. And so I set that intention because I saw it. I heard his story and I saw his experience. And then I bought his book, I read his book, and I set that intention in my mind. And within 3 to 4 months, I had my first client. I was an official talent manager managing a professional public speaker and going out and representing him. So that's how my process usually starts. Is I see something. I'm constantly reading stories, again, watching movies. Sometimes I'll visualize it on my own, but I think that's why I believe in the power of stories so much. Mainly the reason I wanted to talk with you today, because your story is quite inspiring. I mean, you live a very, very different life than most of us. And so you were going to talk about the villa party, or I'll pause there. Is there anything that you want to latch on to? And yeah.
I see a lot of parallels with, how you feel like you had this really different quality to yourself, and how you get inspired, where things, where things that you do in your life are coming from a place of inspiration. I see a lot in my own way in which I visualize life as well. The reason I brought up the villa party that we did just this last weekend feels like eons ago, but it was just this weekend.
Yeah, we're still recovering.
My throat, as you can tell, is a little bit down. The villa party was like an extension of that lifestyle design process in many ways.
Yes.
You're in a brand new city. You're in your mid-30s. You don't really know people for years. You didn't go to school here. You didn't go to college here. And now you're throwing an experience at this beautiful villa in Setúbal, south of Portugal, with a beautiful pool, and 25 people who didn't all know each other.
No.
They come there and they have such a good time that is going to create memories for a lifetime. And there are probably friendships and relationships formed there that are also forever.
Yeah, one of our friends is, yeah.
I want to go into what it took to get there. Like most of the guests at the party were people you formed some really authentic connections with in your time spent in Lisbon.
Yes.
So I want to go over how you went about it and how you manifested the event and how it all came together.
Well, it goes back to a friend that I met at a meetup here in Lisbon. So I have this process, or this way of forming a social circle, a social life in a very short amount of time. So I make up that I can go into any new city and form a new social life in 5 days. I used to be an ethnographer as a researcher, and so I learned how to do this, how to embed myself in new cities or cultures. I used to do this in startup communities. And so once I started traveling by myself, I was just naturally doing this. And so it just dawned on me, when we were in Bulgaria, that, I can do this. Because within 5 days in Bulgaria, I was dating someone new. I had a new group of 5 guys, and I was getting into the business community in Sofia, Bulgaria. I found an American businessman, and it was just wild. It was just like, it's just happening so naturally to me. And Sofia doesn't have, they have meetup, but not like Lisbon. So how did it come to be? I was in Lisbon. There's this amazing meetup here. Shout out to Kat. I can put her meetup in the notes. She runs a creative nonfiction write-up group. I'm from Austin. We have meetup. There's a ton of meetups in Austin. It's almost overly saturated, and I don't really enjoy going to them in Austin. But here in Lisbon, I knew that I needed to meet people, or I wanted to meet people. I already had some connections to the city. I've been here 3 times, but I've never really felt a sense of connection here. Last time I was in Portugal, I spent more time in Porto. And so I started going to meetups, and I started going to different types of events. And this one in particular, Kat's Creative Nonfiction. So it started bringing together all these really interesting people. Anthropologists, sociologists, people that were just writing, copywriters, therapists. And from that group, I was meeting just extraordinary people. So I started going regularly. And this one woman, Sophia, came, and right from the jump, she was asking like really good questions and really facilitating after our writing. I was like, whoa, like this, she's like different. And she asked everyone what we were writing about. And that day I was writing a letter to my father who had died 2 years ago. And she was, wow, Jonathan, that's heavy. Like we got into a deep conversation. An hour after that meetup, we closed down the restaurant and we formed a friendship. And that's happened several times from that meetup. So it's about finding a meetup or a group that you feel connected to. And so Sophia became a really good friend. She has an incredible story. She's traveling the world writing because it was her dream to become a writer, successful businesswoman. And now I think she's in England now. So she was here for 2 months. And so we would go to the aquarium and talk about life. We would take long walks and go to dinner. And she had this supreme skill in facilitation and design thinking. And she's like, Jonathan, you're a very intellectual, cerebral guy. I think you need to get out of your mind. Let's do an exercise. So we were walking through Alfama one night and we found a coffee shop, and she pulled out a piece of paper. She says, I want you to draw your current state. Because I'm in a state of rebirth right now. I'm recreating a lot of things. I mean, we've been talking a lot about this. Karan pushing me to personal brand, wanting me to get more of my thoughts and ideas out there. And so the first step was to just draw the current state. She set a timer for 10 minutes. And for 10 minutes, I just drew. What is the current state of my current reality? And it was a mess. It was chaos. There's large hills everywhere. There's people all over this piece of paper. There's just all the things that are going on in my mind are on this piece of paper. And then we take a pause. She sets a timer for 8 minutes because the store owner's like, hey, we're going to close. I need y'all to get out of here. So she takes me through a 2.5 minute guided meditation. I close my eyes, take a deep breath in, and the words that she's going. And after about a minute, I stopped hearing her words and I just saw it crystal fucking clear. And she, boom, comes on. It took me maybe 3.5 minutes to draw it out. And one of the things I drew out was me at a beach party with a DJ playing, people outside all hanging around in this beautiful home. There was another one of me teaching, and then another one of me doing actually a podcast. I've been on podcasts before. I teach, I do all those things, but it was very clear, like those are the 3 things to focus on. They bring me the most joy, the most happiness. And then we're texting back and forth. This guy, Karan, comes back into town. So people now know we have this thing called the Sophia's Mafia. We met at a social transformation workshop because you and I both invest in ourselves. We love doing these workshops. You're a self-proclaimed, what is it?
Self-help junkie.
Self-help junkie. Okay. Yes. Man, and during that workshop, they had us push ourselves socially in many ways. And you and I got into some very deep conversations, very deep. And I was texting you back and forth, like, you're going to come to Portugal, or like, when are you coming? Because I really wanted to continue the connection. And so then you arrive in Portugal. I somehow make it this far. I don't know what month I'm on here, but you come in, and I had been living with a good friend, 2 other guys from the workshop as well. And your energy right from day one was like, are you a thinker? Are you a doer? What are you thinking about? But we were talking about ideas about how to jumpstart your social life because you were new here.
Yep.
So you wanted a quick bang. And so we're bouncing ideas. We're sitting down by the water here in Lisbon, and the idea of an event comes up. And that's how the Villa party started. It was literally a discussion after a walk one night, not late at night, but in the evening. I already had the vision in my mind. I have an experience in events, like
Mm-hmm.
real, like you saw what we did, which was not like a high level event, but it's an exclusive event. It's not a like someone's meetup. Like this is a curated experience at a private residence that's been thought through, guest list curated, with food, music, and a beautiful location. So that's how it started, and it would not have happened if it weren't for you and your push. That's how the Villa Party came to be. And then we wavered back and forth talking about it, and then we were all at the beach. The four of us got together in Ediseta, and man, we were all just kind of talking shit. You know, we should do this event, and Conan pulls out his phone and says, "Are you a thinker? Are you a doer?" And boom, books the Airbnb. I shouldn't probably say that because it's not legal to throw parties in Airbnbs, but
Not legal.
we'll edit that out. But basically, booked it in a moment of clarity and a moment of passion. Didn't even know where the Airbnb was, Setúbal. And then we started like, oh, all these objections came. Oh, it's too far. People are gonna want to go. Blah 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 blah. And you said we'll figure it out. And we did. So that's how the Villa Party came to be.
And you know, the what you said about the objections is so classic. Our friend, a good friend, always says, "Don't try to solve problems you don't have yet."
Yes.
And we were doing that with all our objections, but it's good that we caught us. We caught each other.
Yes.
And we moved past them, because the objection is not real until it happens, and then you can handle it. Objections
Yes.
can be handled.
They can. Yes.
We made some really amazing discoveries that some of the objections that we were thinking of were not even real.
Most are not. They were mostly in our head.
In our head.
Yeah. And then when they happened, we dealt with them. And then came the filling of the guest list.
Mm-hmm.
And really, so my intention when I'm somewhere new, or even in my home city where I live, is to be social. So I'm constantly going out to meetups, to coffee shops. I mentor startups. I'm just in the community. So the guest list was easy. It's kind of funny. It took me about a day to organize who I wanted, who would be a good fit, and then just making the quote unquote irresistible offer. So we just wanted people there. And for people that it was too far, we even got them there via Uber.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted no friction. We wanted just people to come and have a good time and relax. My intention was to bring people who were intellectually curious, who were creative. So we had writers, artists, entrepreneurs, expats, locals, Ukrainian, Polish, American, Indian, Brazilian. I'm missing, I think I said American, multinationality. People were freaked out. They didn't know what to expect. 24-year-olds to 50-year-olds, Brazilian chef cooking with love, a French DJ. And what struck me was people were like, what's the end goal? Like, what do you want? Like, what are you going to sell me? And it took people a while just to relax. And once they relaxed and they realized, which we basically created a sense of psychological safety, and they realized that like this is just, it's a party. And it was us giving back in many ways to for me, the people that have been so kind and gracious to me in Lisbon. And a sense, it's like a thank you for our strong brotherhood as a group. People had the time of their lives. They were making connections, some business, some romance, some friendships, Gen Z talking to Gen X, like finding mentors. It was incredible. And it culminated at the end of the night with everyone getting in the pool, which was your wish, after me getting out for being in there for multiple hours. But yeah, so, and I learned this from the time I was a little kid. And growing up in Austin, Texas, on that campus, University of Texas, it was a melting pot. Austin was when I was growing up in the 90s, you had just this mix, intellectuals with locals, with politicians. Now it's become, that's why I don't enjoy living in Austin anymore. I don't know what the word is, but like fragmented, segmented. So there's not that mix anymore. So that party was a resemblance of how I lived my life, was just mixing everything all together. And when you do that, you have great time. That's how innovation happens, creativity happens. It's not just artists gathering with artists. There's a purpose for that, or writers gathering with writers, a specific purpose. But when all those people get together, you have a diverse experience, set of people, and the right conditions, right environment, you have a great party.
Amazing. I mean, I had a lot of, I kind of got high without consuming any substances, just out of being one of the hosts and putting that party together with you all. I want to reflect a little bit and think about how you felt before, during, and after the party.
Okay.
Because I think we all had kind of similar feelings. So I want to go in there a bit and
you want to dive into my feelings?
Dive in.
All right, let's go.
Dive in.
We have an emotion wheel. I'm pretty good at this. Yeah. All right. So before the party, I felt really calm and confident. So I used to work in the event industry. So we would do safety and logistics for music festivals, high-end marketing activations, and billionaire parties. So I've been under pressure with the team. My responsibility was to run the company, not run the events. So I got a masterclass on how events are run. And it was pissing me off that y'all jabronis were arguing with me about certain details. So I was getting a little upset. But day of the event, so I know to be in a very calm place. So Kuhn and I went to Setúbal. We went to a natural park and actually jumped in the ocean. I was feeling a bit tired, and I jumped in the ocean, cold, beautiful water, and just was like, man, today is going to be amazing. I feel so grateful. I feel so relaxed, so calm. Let's go put on a great party. So I think y'all were out grocery shopping and doing your thing. So I came back in very relaxed. I think we did a workout. So before, calm. There's a little bit of nervousness, or if people going to come. But just working through, as you said, objections, making sure that people know the time, how to get there, taking care of rides for people that couldn't, and then just confirming. And so then I started to feel excited. And there's always this little anxiousness when people start coming, because it's been a while since I've thrown a party like this magnitude or size. And so everything wasn't set up right from the start. And there's a bit of nervousness, like what do I do with people when they come? I've learned, though, that people just need to relax and settle into a space. So I actually don't need to do much. Just point out where things are and then leave them alone. And most of the time, people will orient themselves to the space. Oftentimes, hosts hover over guests, and it causes more anxiety and anxiousness in the guests. So that's how I was feeling at the start. How about you?
I want to reflect a little bit on the after. During the party, especially as the night started to culminate, I was very joyous, grateful that this thing came together, made some amazing friends, made some deep friendships, and was able to celebrate the fact that we met at the social transformation workshop, and then now we're doing this. It was just joyous. After, I felt that the post-party blues.
Yes, after the post-party blues.
Big vacation, big party, you just go back to your normal routine, and then you tend to feel a little bit sad, I'd say. So I think I felt that for the first 2 days, I think after party ended. But I was filled with a lot of ideas for what to do next.
Yes, you were.
Because when something goes well, I'm like, okay, we did this, and we made this happen. Let's scale this up, let's go bigger in scale. Let's put in even more effort socially.
Yeah, so now you're all in, right?
All in.
So
all in, baby. All in, baby.
So what, tell me more about that, all in, because people were on the fence, right? No one really brought other people. I drove the entire guest list. So we went to the social transformation workshop, and yet I'm the one out here being social.
Right.
And that's my ego talking a bit. It was a complete team effort.
It was, yes.
So that's what I learned as well. I could not have done this. You could not have done this without a team. So with a team coming together, we were able to accomplish this. And now people are starting to see in our Sofia's Mafia, the importance of being social. So yeah, how has your perspective changed there?
I was for most part of my life, I have realized that I'm not as social as I think I am.
Hmm.
And I need to consciously be someone who socializes in the form of, it could be cold approach, it could be going to meetups, it could be just saying hi to people at a coffee shop. But it has to be done actively in order to have an enriching life. So my perspective on that has changed, and it's okay to ask for help.
What do you mean?
There are a lot of times when I'm doing probably solo traveling and I'm in some place, and it's okay to just be vulnerable in a safe way with people and seek help. Seek help and get help. If you want to throw a party, get your friend on board. Get some help. If you need some help socializing, ask your friend to invite you to a meetup that he goes to, like you did. I think this is something that is some guys, including myself, I think I have this ego, and we're like tied up in, no, we got to do everything ourselves. But the reality is, when people come together, magic happens. Magic.
Well said. Yes.
And the other thing that I think I bring outside of just being able to organize stuff is, I think that I've already spent a lot of my life, and a lot of people spend their lives into thinking, planning stuff, imagining things. I will do X. Dude, that day is never going to come. It's never going to be a perfect time to start anything, to do anything. Time just, flies. Time just flies. If you want to do something, start with a version 1. Do something. Do something, even if it's terrible, even if it's cringy, do it.
Well, the version 1 for the Villa Party is a pretty advanced version. So yeah, how would you instruct people to scale that back a little bit, knowing what you know now?
Scaling that back. So I would like to circle back to now the 5-day social program that you had mentioned.
Okay.
You're in a new city.
Yeah.
And you don't know anyone. You want to bootstrap a brand new social life for yourself. How do you do this? So you touched upon this. But I'd like you to go over that a little bit and give us a blueprint on how this can be done.
Yeah, so I'll cite you. One is to do some planning. But if you want to do solo adventure, you can also do it as well. But I would suggest doing a little bit of planning, meaning going to a place for a reason where there's an event makes it easier. For an example, like going to Austin for South by Southwest, there's Web Summit here in Lisbon. You don't necessarily have to do that. Workshops are also a great entryway into a city because you're going to be around people who have similar interests, who are spending money to be in a city to do a certain thing. So you're more than likely to form friendships. We met in Sofia, Bulgaria at a workshop. I went with a specific intent because I had just finished a yoga teacher training workshop, maybe a month before, if that, a couple of weeks. And it was in Houston, Texas. And I went there and I did my thing. I formed relationships with almost everyone outside the class. So I was meeting business owners and different types of people in Houston. But the last day of the yoga training, these people started opening up. And I was making judgments the whole time, and I was crying. They were like literally being vulnerable and saying how certain people inspire them and touch them, and they're having big transformations. And that moment hit me as like, wow, I missed a massive opportunity. And so when we went to lunch that day, we connected on Instagram. We still chat back and forth some. I made the commitment to myself that would not happen again, because that was a pattern in my life. I would go and do these events and not be vulnerable or be seen, like think I'm the cool person who knows it all. Like I don't need to hang out with the students, like fuck that. So when I got to Bulgaria, I said, no, I'm going all in. I'm here to support these guys that I'm going to do this work with. And I want to form connections. And the universe rewarded me because there was 5 of us. 4 of us are all the same age. All the same age, 37. Different stages of our lives. You're global citizen, another guy has a startup, another guy, family bit, like just different nationalities. And there's one guy who's like our younger brother. I think he's 27, 28. But man, all introverted, just kind and caring, working on herself. I was in heaven, man. I was in heaven. So I went all in, formed relationships with everyone in the group, and then we did the work. So the number one strategy is find an event that you want to go to and really be seen and be known at that event. Be curious, because you're going to a special environment where people are self-selecting. So when I was a researcher, we'd always get brought into communities based on an event. And events are great because everyone gathers. I can talk to a lot of people at once. So if you don't have an event, do your research. Know what you want. Know what you're going for. If you're in an industry, reach out to other business owners or entrepreneurs or artists that are in that city. Say, hey, I'm coming into the city. I want to buy you coffee, or I'm looking for X. Can you point me in the direction of that thing? But try your best to meet up with them, and meet up with them on day one, because they're going to be your gateway. You want a local who can open up the city to you in ways that other people can't. So that's strategy one. The second is to live your life. So many people think that they have to do special things. No, you do the shit that you love to do. So if you like going to yoga studios, you go to a yoga studio. If you like going to meetups or writing, you do the things that you normally do. You just do them with intention. Then you go to parties, you go to events. So that's part of the strategy. Another thing that we often talk about, more introverted people, they think they're going to get burned out or they can't talk to everyone at these events. So I have a strategy where whenever I go to a networking event or just any event in general, I know in my mind that I'm just there to meet one person. So I go with that intent, and that one person finds me. I don't often go up to everyone at the event. You see me, I just go plant. Now I can do it because I've been doing this for a long time. I've worked on my social skills and myself. So I can walk into certain events and, hi, how you doing? Like, be that assertive person. Oftentimes I don't enjoy doing that. So I just go sense the energy of the environment and wait. And oftentimes meetups I can also share. So because you and I work on ourselves so much and we've learned so much, when I speak, people often listen and then they want to come meet me after the event. So another strategy is to give value, as you would say, but it's really to take in the energy of the group and share from experience in the heart. So to recap, find a person of influence in the community, go for an event, and then live your normal life, but be intentional about it. Do the things that you normally like to do, and you'll meet the people who do things like you, running, yoga, writing, whatever it is. And then lastly, is there anything you would add, I guess?
I think there's one thing we discussed, which in the past, which you've done as well, which is find a coffee shop or co-working space in the city that you really enjoy, genuinely, and spend some consistent time there. Go there consistently, spend a couple hours, if you can, 2 to 3 days a week, and you should just become this guy, or girl, who's just there.
Yeah, so shout out to Fable Bookshop here in Lisbon. It's an English bookstore. I do this at all coffee shops. So you pick one and go. In Lisbon, as you say, the economy is based on cafes and Airbnbs. So you can find many of them and sit there and pay attention to what people are talking about. So I've made serious friends and connections through just being at a coffee shop and overhearing people talking about things that interest me. 2 people that I met at Fable, 3 people were talking about, one, education and teaching, and I've spent some time in school. So I just say, hey, you're just talking about education and teaching, and I got introed into their conversation, and we all became friends. We ended up co-working together. Shout out to Kelly. You met. She was great. Yeah, we mentor together at unicorn factory. And then another French entrepreneur was literally looking at the University of Texas website next to me. I said, what the fuck? I said, what are you looking at? I used to work there. So it's just go to places and pay attention, listen to what people are saying, and get over the belief that you're interrupting people. If you're genuinely curious and you want to know, people are will welcome you in. If they don't, that's okay, and you can pick up the vibe. So yeah, when I'm out in public, I'm constantly, I guess I got this from my mom, just paying attention to what's around me. Because I'm a social, the other belief is I'm a social being. I want to socialize.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going out with that intention. So that's the coffee shop strategy. You can pick one and go, but as a traveler, you want to experience multiple coffee shops. And then you start to get a sense of, another funny thing too, here in Lisbon, some of the coffee shops won't allow you to work.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one day, me and Kuhn were walking to this coffee shop, and I was going to do some work, and I get there and no work allowed, no laptops, no, like basically be here, be present. And I ended up talking with two different women for an hour and a half. Like it was, and just amazing conversations about how to be present, how to slow down, how to have fun. And so people are out there looking to have conversations. So going out with that intent.
So the no laptop thing is actually a blessing in disguise.
Yes, for sure.
We think it's like a killjoy because you cannot be a digital nomad.
Digital nomad, yes.
But in reality, it forces you to be present and connect with people, or like the way you were meant to.
That's why I love Lisbon and Portugal. Something about this country is you come here to slow down. I've met so many different types of therapists, like just different types of practitioners here that have all migrated here and are learning to slow down. There's something in the culture about going slow. People on the sidewalks walk like tortoises. Like it's just slow.
Notice that.
You have, yeah. It's a slower pace of life. There's some pluses and minuses. It's a city that values social connections. And I love getting challenged. I want to go do this in Sydney, Australia. I met an entrepreneur here who says that Sydney is like the most unfriendly city. He said, go test your method there. So I want to go test it there.
Mm-hmm.
I've done this in big cities, small cities, towns. I believe this method works really, really well. It works better in some places that value social connection. To me, it's just finding those right pockets or places.
It's an amazing thought, and I like the fact that you're up for a challenge because you are competitive by nature.
Yeah, I'm very competitive.
So when someone challenges you, you rise to the challenge. But I would like to see some more follow through, okay?
Okay.
With some of those.
What do you want to see follow through?
Acceptances.
All right.
Of challenges. So I liked that we were able to codify the new city action pack, as we would call it. Go to a new city, you have a game plan. It's amazing. While building the list of people you could invite to a party, a lot of people, they focus on what's in it for me, right? And I noticed that even some of the guests of the party, they asked us, I mean, to them it was bewildering that out of the greatness of your heart, that five guys or girls could choose to just host a beautiful party and experience for 20-ish people. So could you touch upon where this has to come from for it to work, and how this differs from I'm doing an event with a motive?
Yeah, and you just touched on the other strategy, which we didn't talk about, which is to host a social event. And I think a lot of people try to do that without curating the social connection first. Like they'll just come and like I see this all the time. People just spamming events. Come to my event without really knowing people yet. And that is a strategy. It needs to come from the heart. And I've learned this from, me, you and Renato. I'm very blessed to have really genuine friends who are givers and don't have any expectation in return. And so the party was an extension of the generosity of our group of guys. So the party was already started from a place of generosity. So it was a natural extension of all of us, all supported one another and helped one another. I mean, the boot camp we went through was in many ways fun. It was also hell. And we were each giving each other such guidance and support. I mean, your shoulders are so much more relaxed. Like, man, you came to Lisbon and you had this, yeah, that's how you were before in our conversations, but I haven't been laughing this much in months. You have this jovial, newfound sense of joy and play. I'll answer the question I know we're getting at, but how did you get there, which is the extension of the party? Like, it's just a natural extension of us. So how did you loosen up? Because at the social transformation workshop, you were, I would say, rigid in many ways. You were on a mission.
I do think I struggle a lot with the judgment of others, and I think my stiffness socially comes from that place. I'm not at ease. I'm not at ease when I'm socializing or I'm like talking to people, making friends. But ever since I did the workshop, it's been a gradual loosening up, because I'm realizing that there's people in your life who are going to really like you for who you are, and that is sufficient. I don't have to make everyone like me. And when you're in the company of people who get that, they get you, then you're at ease. You can be at your worst and they're still going to accept you, still going to be around you and hang out with you, be there for you. And once my brain knew that, it just chilled out. Shoulders are no longer stiff anymore. They're like
bed
in a beach resort.
You're developing like a stand-up. You're gonna start doing stand-up or some type of comedy. I mean, yeah, it's just been so natural and flowing, and the humor, yeah, the levity. So when you get to plan a party and you start from that place of joy, of generosity, then everything else is just a natural extension. And yeah, I don't think maybe people aren't used to it anymore. I mean, growing up, I don't know about the Indian culture, the Mexican culture, we're constantly gathering around, no agenda. Bring your friends, bring your family. We got food, barbecue. Like, you need a reason? Like, what? Like, how did our culture get to this place? Like, what are you trying to sell me? Like, what? Like,
yeah, and there were some people, I mean, guests at the party who were like, I mean, why are you guys doing this?
Yes.
You're having this amazing experience and you're at it. And
yes.
And you just cannot get in. I mean, you're not, at least right now, you're not getting in the moment.
Yes.
Enjoying it because you think, you want to figure out what's the catch?
What is the catch? Yes.
Oh, there is no catch.
Well, there isn't. There also, one is like, we wanted to prove to ourselves that we could do it. So yeah, can we put together an event where people have a great time? And I have to be careful because now I'm like, yeah, how do I turn this into a business? And I'm reminded, like, when it comes from love, maybe it's just an outlet.
Yep.
We all have different hobbies and passions and interests, and maybe this is just an outlet. And if it leads to something larger, that's great. I mean, I know the freaking event business, so it's kind of hard to turn that off. You have a genuine skill in venue selection, hosting, curating experiences. So I think it just brought all of our skills together, and people didn't know, like, yeah.
Right. Because when it's one person, knowing all the different pieces of the logistics to bring a party of that scale together could be difficult.
Yes, very difficult.
I do think that is difficult. But then when you have all these resourceful guys come together who have different pieces of the puzzle, and they have the answers to different things, and they come together and it all becomes whole, that's a beautiful thing to witness.
Great cities, Karan, were built on events with no fucking purpose. I mean, so South by Southwest, everyone wants to copy that festival. It started off with a purpose to get musicians to play more.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to give more local musicians opportunities to play more music. And now it's one of the largest festivals in the world. Tree Fort is another example in Boise. I mean, I could point to many, many different examples with this in cities. And that's what most people don't get. I was just grilled yesterday by entrepreneur, ecosystem builder. Like, what's your angle? How are you going to make money? Man, you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't focus on that at the start. You're just making basically art. And art and commerce can intersect. They often do at the right moment. But when you focus solely on one or the other, you ruin it. Man, I was really pissed off yesterday. I was really pissed off because I had this guy trying to tell me that I'm gonna not be successful. I don't know if he's a thinker or doer, but basically because it's not a sustainable business model. It can't last forever. I said, what parties have been going on from the dawn of time? We've been gathering since our species was created, right? So you don't need villas and all this stuff. You could basically say, hey, I'm meeting at the coffee shop to do some work. Yeah,
that's it.
Work.
Exactly. And just to add to what you said about South by Southwest, Foursquare and its rival at that time, they both literally launched only because of South by Southwest.
Really?
They literally came there and said, hey guys, we created this app where you can tag a place you checked in. And they created this war of people wanting to check in at places, and South by Southwest was one of them. So billions of dollars of tech startups from Austin, billion-dollar tech companies have bootstrapped out of a festival that was originally meant for art. So the point you made about art and commerce intersecting holds very, very, very true for South by Southwest. And therefore, organizing meetups and events where people can get together for no reason whatsoever is always going to create infinite wealth in this world. Infinite.
Yes. And I think we're using the term without a reason, and it may like purposeless, but there is a purpose. And it's to gather people to have a good time, a diverse group of people. So it's not purposeless. It's also thinking through like, what is the purpose? And when you're first starting something, you often don't know what that is. You just need to, as the great Quran says, fuck around and find out.
Fafo, man. You got a Fafo. Listen, you got a little idea what you want to do, but you don't know exactly. Fafo first.
And I've learned that from you. Like, I know it intuitively, but that's why we need other people in our lives to remind us of the things that we know. And you just take action. You mess around and you find out. You get feedback. It works in tech startups to parties. You can talk all day about all the parties you want to throw, but until you throw one, you're never going to know. And then now we know how to handle those types of questions.
So it's good that we're living this Fafo lifestyle.
Yes.
Because it minimizes regrets as well. But it's also good to get it from your friends, you know? I mean, if you live the Fafo lifestyle and you do something and you get caught up in your thoughts, it's good to have your friend tell you that, man, you're not Fafoing. You're still in your thoughts.
So with that, to bring us all together, you've been Lisbon a month? Yeah, a month. More. And it's been intense, right? Back together with some of the core guys. How have you been reflecting on some of your beliefs? Yeah, what's your internal change process look like right now?
I think this year has been a year of discovery for me, but not a radical change. I'm now focused on action taking, building a dating life of my dreams, strengthening my friendships, improving my socializing. So I've realized that I haven't been socializing to the level that I should be, and I'm now consciously taking efforts every day to do it. So it's I'm just throwing everything in with the kitchen sink into my action plan all over the place.
That you are a planner. So what is this new action plan? What is it? How's it shaping up? Because we're at the early stages in exclusive that I'm getting right now.
Well, it is. It's a combination of cold approach, online dating, doing parties.
Yeah, you're going all in on parties.
Parties are the new. I mean, people say that online dating is dead, cold approach is dead. Well, parties aren't dead. Parties aren't going away,
No, they're not.
right? So,
Is there an AI for parties?
thank God, no, God no. But no, there's no AI for parties. So, parties could be a way that are gonna reinvigorate the way people date. I mean, you could if you don't want to like make like use these channels to meet your partner, put together a party
Mm.
and invite people to it, and do it at whatever scale you want. You want to just invite people to a place? Do you want to invite people to your home? You want to invite people to a villa?
Yeah.
You know, just the world is your oyster.
And you make a good point, because often what happens is people invite their friends, and it's very easy to meet. Yeah, it's a lot easier to meet that romantic partner if you're out trying to date through friends versus some of these other channels.
And one more thing that we noticed was the party creates context.
Mm.
I think a lot of people are looking for that. How did we meet? Like, what do we have in common? Even one party or event together. A function of time, a function of a certain amount of time spent. This creates a reason for why you may want to see this person again if you guys clicked, versus it being a fleeting online dating date or cold approach for that matter. A party creates context, and it helps to apply yourself into this problem solving phase, because it may not only lead to romance but also friendships.
Yes. Friendships and romance. Very well said. Yeah, because you're having a shared experience. You're going through something with someone. It's a bonding experience, especially if it's a good party. And topic for another day about we could dive into the specifics of how do you throw a really, really good party. Because there's a lot of them out there. Not all of them create the types of connections that you're talking about. So if you're going to do the strategy, really be intentional about it. Really, really be intentional. At the same time, don't let that stop you from messing around and finding out.
That's the family-friendly version of Fafo.
Yes.
In case anyone has any questions about Mafo, messing around and finding out.
This is good.
But the OG version is Fafo.
It is. Fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. I love that. Karan, this has been super fun. It's giving people a snapshot into our daily lives, of the fun conversations we have, our thought processes. Is there anything else that you would like any wisdom you want to share with us before we say goodbye?
On my last piece, parting thoughts. Don't wait to take action. Don't wait to put your thoughts into action and just make a first step. Be okay screwing up. Embrace the cringe. Cringe is good. There's not a single moment in my life where I haven't felt it. Even posting to my Instagram is cringe, but still do it. Do more cringy things, and life's gonna be beautiful.
So live in the cringe.
Any parting thoughts, Jonathan?
Be social. Yeah, go out and be social. Take social risks. Say hello to the stranger. Send the email. All the things, all the people that you think you should be talking to, like, do it. I have a dear friend and guide he showed me what it really means to live a life full of passion and joy and purpose. And I traveled around the world with him, studying communities, learning a lot of what I know about communities and entrepreneurship. And about a year ago, he was diagnosed with ALS, and he started to rapidly lose his voice, but he didn't lose his spirit. We still email back and forth, and I can feel his energy. He doesn't want to stop working, but I mean, he's forced to because of the disease. And I was, for a long time, like, do I reach out? And I was his time on this earth, all of our time on this earth, is very limited. So the people that are in your life that you care about, that you want to talk to, regardless if they answer you or not, reach out to them, be social. And I'm reminded, I mean, he has blessed my life in so many ways, and I'm so grateful that he's in it. And I've had many people in my life actually with terminal illnesses, and they still have this spirit about them. And so I strive to match them in spirit in many, many, many ways. Don't wait till that fucking illness hits you. Like, just be social. Let people know that you're here, that you care. If you need help, ask for it. Lend help to others. Most importantly, just say hello. Hello can change your fucking life. You know that? The simple hello. I was at the park yesterday with Christian, and there was this beautiful woman was walking so mindfully through the Gulbenkian Park Art Museum here, and I was like, yeah, because we do the social freedoms. I know I needed to talk to her. I didn't want to talk to her. I know I needed to talk to her. She was so present, and I could tell, and I knew it was going to be a good conversation because most people do not walk like she is walking. So paying attention. So I walked up to her, said hello. We'll see what happens this week. I might be painting on the beach with Beautiful Soul. And it all started with hello. And she could have told me to fuck off. We've both been told to fuck off a lot. But it's taking that risk and just saying a simple word of hello. How are you? I want to meet you. So final things are live life with passion, enthusiasm, even when you're down. And I've been blessed to see that at a very high level from some guys and mentors in my life. And the second is reach out and say hello. Oh. All right.
Terminated.